What's going on, Grinders? Grinders Live is in the building. It's almost time for Christmas, and I could not have thought of a better person to do this show with than my man Kirk Dees, because when Kirk and Chief are in the building, if you haven't bought all your Christmas presents, don't worry. We're going to help you make some money tonight so you can possibly get that instant withdrawal and go out and buy a few more gifts to put under the tree. I'm Chief. That's Kirk. It's Grinders Live. Kirk, what's going on, bro?
What's good? What's good? I do like the fact that DK is like starting to treat their people like a casino now. You know how in a casino, when you build up your comp points, they give you like gifts all December for like family members. Like I used to get all my family members come home from the casino with gifts because I was broke and they took all my money. But they always made sure you have gifts. DK, they send out the Amazon card. They've been sending out Amazon cards to most people. So and make sure that they allow you to buy your gifts. So I like that. It was a nice touch this year. But yeah, there's always room to make a little more tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And I'm excited about this one. Merry Christmas to everyone. Thank you all for tuning in. I'm not begging for likes today. I'm demanding likes. Look, folks, we're working, doing prime time right now. Most folks are hanging out with their families, but we care about you people, and we want to put some money in your pockets. Give us the thumbs up. Give us the subscribe. Don't make us beg for it. Just give it to us as a gift. It's the season of giving. I need you to give us the subscribe, give us the likes. And also, speaking of giving, we've got you covered at Scores and Odds, folks. It's your number one place for all things sports betting. Check it out for everything you need to make a better sports bettor, including, folks, this thing is amazing. The new Parlay IQ tool, and it's got the Fanduel Sportsbook integration built into it. And I know because I use it to put out parlays of the day. It's going to help you build optimized same-game parlays based on data from thousands of games with the click of a button. And you can bring that bet slip directly into Fanduel Sportsbook. Not only that, folks, check this out. And I know this because I participate with Scores and Odds as well. If you sign up for Scores and Odds, Steve, I'm not sure if you got the graphics. I think we're going to give you 50% off the next month, Steve, if I'm not mistaken. I think I'm right. If I'm wrong, please, Scores and Odds, higher ups, don't shoot me. But I'm pretty sure, yes, it's the Christmas special, 50% off your first month at Scores and Odds. I can't think of a better way to bring in Christmas and the New Year than getting 50% off premium content that's going to help put more money in your pocket. Kirk Dees, are you ready to hop in this slate, sir? Yes. Oh, yeah. We're bringing the energy. If you didn't know, this is the Pump It Up crew. Kirk, look, so on this slate, I'm not covering bar charts and doing all of those weird things, at least not all at one time. I will, cover a few things, but let's talk maybe a little bit of strategy before we hop into the game by game. What's kind of your take overall on the slate in terms of how you want to approach it? Star scrubs, mid-range, where you may want to get different. What are your overall thoughts on the slate?
Well, I mean, it's always stars and scrubs when we have the NBA going on now, the way it is now, right? Like it's just there's just constant value, constant news. This slate is bananas. It's too big. It's right before Christmas. We're gonna get some bombs are gonna go off. We also have some great late night hammer games, right? Like if you're waiting for that Washington Sac game with a 239 total, you got Charlotte Lakers with 242 total. Rozier might be out again. I don't care, even if he is in. I mean, that game should be a gold mine for some fantasy points. But, man, it's going to be all over the place. I feel like bombs are going to start dropping. And right now it looks like the Pelicans value, right? Like and we don't know about CJ after his massive, 70 fantasy point game he just had last night. Larry Nance is questionable. I don't think Larry's going to play, but I don't have a read on CJ. I don't know. But, Ingram's still out, Zion out, obviously.
I feel like CJ plays, but once again, I don't have anything to firm that up. But then on the other side of the coin, like you already mentioned, it's Christmas time. You guys going to get a 3-day weekend, some of them, if they just don't play tonight. So it's either or. Either way, whether CJ's in or not, the Pelicans are still going to have value, like you said. So I'm with you 100% on that. We'll start game by game. First game up on the slate, we got Spurs at Magic, 227.5 total. Magic favored by 6.5. And in terms of injuries, I'm going to start with the Magic. They are starting to get healthy completely. Wendell Carter Jr. is back tonight. Will be limited if you got that alert early. Gary Harris is going to be back tonight. He will be limited. Suggs, Okeke, Isaac still out. We're not really worried about Isaac. He's been out for feels like the past 2 seasons. And then on the other side, we've got the Spurs back in action on a back-to-back. Guess what? No injuries for the Spurs. Keldon Johnson's back tonight. So they're pretty much back at full strength. And we can keep it quick and simple. Do you have interest in this game? Do you not have interest in this game? And so who do you like on both sides?
I mean, you got to have a little interest in this game. I mean, it's the Spurs, right? Like any game that, especially if you expect it to be competitive, it's only a 6.5-point spread for the Magic.
Yeah.
It's got a decent total. It's really the Spurs play fast. They're 8th in pace and they don't play any defense. They're 30th in defensive rating. I think we can see we're going to see a minutes limit on Pirtle probably, but that's probably the only one. So I think all these Spurs guys are in play. And I think you have, a Magic guy or two may be worth it tonight. And I think they're going to go under owned because, people are going to want to wait for more news to keep dropping. It's one of the first games on the slate. Wendell Carter Jr.'s back. But, you can always play Paulo. You can play Franz Wagner. Markelle Fultz has been doing great. He had coming off a rough game against Houston in what should have been a great matchup, but he's had 2 47-point games in the last 5. Shooting a little bit better than we anticipate, but looking good. The price is still reasonable, so I think you can go to him. But I'm not super excited, but I always have some interest in anybody playing the Spurs.
Yeah, absolutely. And let me just say, just to kind of keep the show clear, Kurt Dees is going to cover more DK, and I'm going to cover the FanDuel. And that way, if we start talking, you're not like confused. Or I'm covering FanDuel, Kurt Dees is covering DK. Not that we won't talk about it together, but he's mostly going to handle that now, handle FanDuel, and that way we're good. I'm with you here. Always good to target the Spurs. Paulo is 8,300 on FanDuel, and it feels expensive, but his upside right now. He can get you to 45, I feel like, uncapped. I feel like his capped upside is around 50, but I just think he's going to go under owned tonight. And if he's going to have a big game, it's got to be against a bad defense like the Spurs. And we've seen him go off against Boston, albeit I think Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum was out, one of those guys in that game. But if it's anybody for me, I think it's Paulo because Fultz, he's been playing well. He's 6,300 on FanDuel. I think that's a little bit expensive for him with almost everybody back now. So that's just my read on it. But anything else you want to talk about in this game before we move on to the next one?
No, it's Wagner, it's Fultz, it's Paulo. It would be, and I would probably only play one of those guys tonight. So just one Magic player. Take your pick if you want to play him. If you want to run it back with a Spur, I guess if I had to pick one, I'd probably take a chance on Keldon, but I'm not really loving the Spurs side. It's more on the Magic side.
Okay, cool. Next game. And folks, listen, I know we'll fly through some games. Some games will take a little bit more time. This one, it's Clippers. It's Sixers. Clippers at the Sixers, by the way. 215.5 total. Clippers favored by 3.5. And ironically, Kurt, this one was, I don't want to say a shocker, but Philly, only person that's out right now, Tyrese Maxey, who's been out. The Clippers, though, Kurt, really a shocker. Only person that's questionable is John Wall. I'm not sure if the Clippers are trying to bamboozle us here. I don't think they are. They're pretty much back healthy. And so this is interesting. Something else I saw yesterday, or I was kind of just looking through. Whenever I research, sometimes I just like to look at the rankings and kind of see what's happening in terms of where teams are. And this kind of shocked me, Kurt Dees. The Clippers have seemingly had guys out all season. It feels like every game somebody's been out. Kawhi, Paul George, Reggie Jackson, Morris. Somebody's been out, or a plethora of them have been out. Bro, they're still the number 5 seed in the West, and now they're back healthy. And so, from a DFS perspective, like I think we're going to start to see, and we're already starting to see it. Kawhi's price is going to start to come up as he continues to play more minutes. Do you think he's priced out yet based on where he is? He's been playing about 32, 33 minutes a game, and the minutes are really starting to ramp up. Playing against Philly, which is going to be a slightly slower-paced team. How do you feel about this game? Got some stars here with Embiid, Harden, Paul George, and Kawhi.
Yeah, I'll give you my take in a second. I just want to shout out also just to let you know how to we've got a really valuable source of information here in the chat. My man Herb Good, this guy, if we want to lower, whittle our player pool down a little bit, whenever he starts saying that he likes a guy, just throw him out of your player pool. Throw him out of your player pool. So remember that. That guy mushes everything, mushes every player. So we got to harness his research for the better of all of us. But this game stinks, right? Like, so these are two really good defensive teams. You got the Clippers 4th in defensive rating. You've got the 76ers 2nd in defensive rating. Both are, below in the 20s in pace. They play slow. They're also both, like you said, seemingly healthy. So you've got like multi-star power. You got Kawhi and Paul George eating into each other. You got Embiid and Harden eating into each other. So I think that just pretty much cancels this whole game out. There's really not much to take advantage of. Plus, it's one of the early games. But I could get to playing some Kawhi, probably more so on a site like on Fanduel or Yahoo, because you would want some blocks and steals potentially out of him. But if the thing is that you're not going to see upper 30 minutes with this guy, right? Like he's going to be capped. I have him for 30 and a half minutes. I know he's going to be capped at like 32 at most, and there's potential they whittle it down a little bit, But so this whole game is just meh.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it as well. I don't ever like to I'll put this push Joel Embiid aside, because he's the one guy I think in this game that's pretty much got upside against any team in the league. It's just which Joel Embiid shows up tonight, and not that he's like super inconsistent, because he's actually fairly consistent, but like he's the one guy that could go for 70 in this game, and nobody would say, "Oh wow, I can't believe Joel Embiid just went off tonight." The guys are walking pretty much 30 points with upside for 40. And I'm talking about real points, and then you throw in the rebounds, assists, blocks, and steals. I don't think I want to fade Joel Embiid completely on FanDuel. I don't mind fading everybody else though.
Yeah, and I'll point out that the Clippers have been a decent matchup for opposing centers. With they're not powerful. With Zoo in there. This is definitely a matchup that he could take advantage. There's definitely going to be foul trouble too. He's going to, nobody gets to the line like Joel gets to the line. So they're the 9th best matchup for opposing centers. So I could play Embiid. If I landed on Embiid, I'm fine with it. He's going to be low owned tonight, so this is a good time to take advantage of that. So I get it, but like the game environment kind of stinks.
No, it stinks real bad. Just got a Pepe Le Pew vibe, if you will.
Boy.
Yes, we're going way back here. It stinks, but I do like Joel Embiid for sure. What I will say, and I meant to what I'm also going to do, Kirk, is while we're going through these games, I'm going to give out some of the props that I'm playing one by one in the game that we're in. So I won't cover them all. I do want to go back to this Spurs game. Devin Vassell at 4.5 rebounds. I'm taking the under. I know he had this incredible, amazing, out-of-world experience in the rebounding department last night. Trust me, folks. Devin Vassell gets 4 rebounds a game, and that's pretty much it. 4 or under pretty much every game. So I'm not buying the fact that suddenly he's going to the, rebound well, and he's going to be rebound. So at 4.5, I'm taking the under on Devin Vassell. And then in the Clippers game, if you can get Kawhi around 5.5 rebounds in certain places, if that's available, I hate that as well. And I meant to check that one before, but yeah, if you can get them around 4.5 in certain places, I don't hate 5.5. Excuse me, I don't hate, and I'm checking it now to see if you can still get there, because I don't think it's probably bumped. My assumption is it would have bumped by now. Yeah, he's at 6.5 most places. Now, I still don't hate that. He's been picking up around 7 to 9 rebounds a game. And so it's probably still better to take the over for a guy like him that's going to get pretty active on the board. So we're going to move along here to our next game, Kurt. Now, this is one that I'm actually pretty interested in. I'd love to get your take on this one. It's Milwaukee. It's Brooklyn. We've got a 229.5 total. And this one kind of shocked me, Kurt Dees. And I know Brooklyn's been playing well, 2.5-point favorite. I'm going to side with the fact that it's probably because they're at home. And so as a result, I think they're for here. When you look at the Brooklyn side of the ball in terms of injuries, we don't really have a ton. And we've got Joe Harris, who he was a late questionable, and Yuta Watanabe is probable. I'm not as worried about Joe Harris because they've got other guys that they can plug and play. So he's not someone that I'm worried about completely. And then, of course, with Milwaukee, Chris Middleton is doubtful. He's been out most of the season anyway. So this team has been accustomed to playing without him. And I think they're more than willing to allow him to just get healthy completely before they bring him back. So Milwaukee, Brooklyn, looks like a really good game environment to me. We've got some stars in this one as well, but I think we see a lot more production on both sides. How are you feeling about Milwaukee and Brooklyn?
Yeah, so this is like a nice total game, right? Like there's potential here for, with some real star power for some players to go off, and it's going to be low owned. So I think in tournaments, you got to have a little action. I don't really love it in general, like this game, but like I said, Giannis at low ownership, yeah, I'm in. KD at low ownership, yeah, I'm in. I don't know what they're going to, there's been rumblings that they may use Holiday on KD. I'm not sure how that would play out, but if so, that might open up Kyrie in this one, who's should be playing here tonight. But man, it's like which Kyrie's going to show up. But
I don't know.
He's looked pretty good recently. And if they focus in on KD, it could be a good spot for him. But yeah, it's tough. Giannis is just super high priced, but I think you want to be over on him tonight if you can. But it's tough to get to him. It's tough to make a nice lineup with Giannis in there at 12-2. I mean, that's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's soaking up a lot of salary for sure. Probably a little bit easier on FanDuel where the distribution is a little different. He's $12K there. What I will say, Kirk Dees, is in terms of getting like Giannis in, and I know you talked about maybe being a little over the field. I love it when the big ones like around 3%, because now I don't have to play him at like 20. Like I can play Giannis at 10%, and that's more than enough exposure on a slate like this where he's playing, where we've got him projected. I mean, sub 5% ownership. Like 10% is more than enough if you're building 150. And so that's another thing I like about the big slates with the stars. I mean, even on, and I'm talking FanDuel mostly now, but even KD, we got him projected at around 2% or around 3%. Like I don't have to do anything. I can get 10% with ease because most of my lineups aren't going to have them. And so that's always a great strategy for me when I'm multi-entering, especially when I'm maxing it out, to just get some exposure to those stars enough to where I'm going to be over the field with a minimal investment.
Yeah, for sure. I get that. And that's exactly what I was saying by being over on, because these stars are just, they're just low owned tonight. And, both of these teams have been playing slower, but, on a night, these are two potential powerhouses, depending on how you feel about the Nets, if they really can put it together or not this season. But, a game right before Christmas could get the juices flowing, and with two competitive teams going at it. So I could see it. It's just pricing though with Giannis, just really hard on DraftKings.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to hop over to the next one, and I think we're moving at a pretty good pace here for tonight's slate. We've got Minnesota, and we've got Boston, 229, another 229.5 total, big total here. But we've got Boston favored by 10 in this one. Kirk Dees, I know you're excited about the way Boston's been playing overall. I mean, you might not like every little play, but I'm sure you're thrilled to see Boston continue to thrive in the NBA this season. Just from a real-life perspective, Tatum's been playing incredible, and his body of work this season has been impeccable. Picked up right where he left off last season and playing even better, in my opinion. Jaylen Brown's coming around where they were able to Malcolm Brogdon, and I think they're playing well. But they've got the Timberwolves tonight, 10-point favorite over the Timberwolves. And we're looking at, what's going on there. Gobert's questionable. Towns, of course, continues to be out. Kyle Anderson questionable. McLaughlin and Prince out, of course. And then on the other side here with Boston, they don't really have too much information because we know that Smart is probable. Gallinari's been out for a while, and then Robert Williams is just questionable with an illness. I'm not as worried about that. Williams has been out most of the season. They functioned fine without him anyway. So how are you feeling about this game? Big total, Boston favorite to crush. What are your thoughts here?
Well, I have no faith in their ability to crush. So I've gone from thinking my Celtics are the best team ever in the history of the NBA to now one of the worst teams over the last week.
They are they're 4-6 in their last 10, I think.
I think they've lost 5 of their last 6, with including they're 2-6. So they've lost 4 out of their last 6, but with 2 horrible losses in there to the Pacers and Orlando.
Yeah.
Both at home.
Like I said, I think Jaylen Brown was out that game, but Paolo had a big game that game. I think he was out, but still, I get it.
They lost to the Golden State, who was thinned down in the beginning of this slump. So, I mean, they've looked terrible. I mean, losing to the Pacers is just, there's no excuse. But, over the season metrics, they've looked awesome, right? Like, so 10-point favorite, I think that maybe that's a little high unless they turn it up. The nice thing is it's a pace-up spot for them. The Wolves play really fast, 5th in pace. And the Celtics will push it. The thing is, the thing that's great is that the Wolves are dead last in opponent-made threes per game, and the Celtics are more than willing to chuck up those threes. They're going to find a lot of open 3 looks tonight. So there's going to be a lot of variance in this game. But if they hit those threes, like some of these guys could absolutely go off. And it's probably Tatum or Brown. McDaniels probably guards Tatum. They probably double Tatum a lot. And if that's the case, then you're going to see a lot of threes from Jaylen Brown in this one. I think Marcus Smart is a decent play that nobody's going to want to play tonight, but that's about it. You can always play Tatum, but if I had to like take my Celtics home bias, I would think that this is a Jaylen Brown game over a Tatum game, but you never know.
Yeah, I get you. So for me, Tatum was always a guy, Kurt Dees, and I'm going last year, maybe before last year, which, I'm just kind of talking salary here. He wouldn't really get past 10K, right? He'd be, maybe 10K, 9.5, 9.2, was mostly in terms of salary distribution, like an $8,800 player. You get it like over the last few seasons. That was kind of his range. Jaylen Brown was more in that 75 to 8K range. This season, we've seen the salaries really push on them because they've started out the season hot. I'm looking on FanDuel, Jason Tatum 11.2, Jaylen Brown 8,800. These are prices. Generally, I would not play either of them. Like, they would sit on the shelf. This season, they've really, kind of carried the scoring load. Jason Tatum has been rebounding at a pretty good clip. Same thing for Jaylen Brown, been scoring a lot, also rebounding and assisting. So they've warranted these prices. On FanDuel, I know you're saying it's probably more of a Jaylen Brown game. How comfortable are you taking a shot at 8,800, which feels like to me, he's got to go 45, 48 fantasy points for me to feel really good about it. What's your feedback on Jaylen Brown, 8,800 on FanDuel?
Yeah, let's go. So first of all, it's the Wolves are 30th in opponent made threes per game. He's a guy who's willing to chuck threes. He should have a bunch of open looks. They're probably going to key in on Tatum. That should help him out. They're also the Wolves are also 24th in opponent steals per game. He's a decent defender. He's taken a little hit in defense this year, but he's also stepped that up on the offensive end. But he's a guy that could certainly pull off some steals. And so I feel comfortable. I mean, so what you're seeing this year out of Tatum and Brown is just growth. It's not that it's not that, and I know you didn't mean it like this when you said, they've been hot this year. I would counter and say it's not that they're hot, they're just better. But I know what you meant. You probably didn't even mean it like that. So I mean, these are different players. Tatum is a legit MVP in the top 5 MVP discussion.
He's probably top 3, to be honest, considering where this team is and how he's played. I would say he's top 3.
And it's just growth. These kids are young, and and they're evolving as they should. And they've been a top team in the East for years now, and they haven't gotten over that championship hump. But hopefully this is the year. But regardless, I'm comfortable playing him. Obviously he's got a decent floor, and he does have, and Jalen certainly does have upside, and this could be a good matchup for him. So I'm on board. I don't think that's too much. 9,500 on DK. I would still play a little bit here with him today.
Okay. I like it. I will say D'Angelo Russell was somebody I was kind of playing a little bit when all these guys were out, but if everybody comes back, I can't do it. So even though he's 7,200 on FanDuel, I would kind of be willing to just take the full fade. I am expecting Boston to win this game for what it's worth.
I think Anthony Edwards would be the guy. Maybe Gobert.
Maybe. Like, he's up to 8K now. Look, so let's talk about that, Kurt. Man, I didn't expect us to sit on this game, but this is interesting. So before Rudy Gobert was like out for an extended period of time, like, you were starting to see him go for like 16, 18 points, 15 to 18 rebounds. Like, that's kind of that's his range. That's where he was sitting. And I don't want to lie to the people. So let me check. Yeah, well, he just played. His last game he played was on the 21st. That was against Dallas. Bro, he had 19 points, 15 rebounds, 2 steals, 2 blocks. Before then, 13 rebounds, 11 points. That was against the Clippers. Before that, 16 and 20, 24 and 9, 20, 13, 16 and 21. Like, do you think that continues here tonight against Boston? It seems like Cat being out has catapulted him into more of a scoring option, as well as picking up some of those free rebounds. Once again, he's 8K on FanDuel. If he's going to continue to play like that, I don't hate it. What are your thoughts on how he's been playing recently?
I think he's been. I mean, I honestly, I think Cat's been holding this team back, especially with Gobert. I mean, I just think the experiment of playing Gobert and Cat together is just not a good one. So I think, I think Towns holds this team back, to be honest with you. But Gobert, like, he's cheaper on DK, and that's kind of why I was like thinking, and I get it. You want some more blocks, but the Celtics aren't going to give you a ton of blocks. But he could have a really nice rebounding game, a good putback game, and he's just kind of cheap, he's 7,300. I could see.
Like, that's big time.
And he's going to be extremely low owned. So
Gobert on DK. I'm in.
Yeah.
Love that call. All right, we're going to the next game. This one, man, Kirk, these lower total, but I think the options here are interesting because of how I think we'll see this game play out. We've got Raptors, we've got Cavaliers, 215 total. Cavaliers 4.5-point favorite at home, and we know that Toronto is going to play their guy. This is a team where you don't have to worry about the minutes distribution. You know where they are going. In terms of injuries, Gary Trent, doubtful. So he's going to be out. I've loved when Gary Trent's been out because I know these starters are going to get his Precious, of course, out. Kim Burke's questionable, Otto Porter out. I don't think any of those 3 guys are that important anyway. We go over to Cleveland. This was interesting. Evan Mobley questionable. This one, I think, has some ramifications for sure in this game. Lamar Stevens questionable. Dean Wade is out. Dylan Windler is out. Ricky Rubio has been out. And so I kind of want to start with Cleveland here, Kirk Dees, because one of my favorite tournament plays of the season has been Kevin Love. And especially on DK when he's been under 3K, right? Like that. So it's because if he gets 22 to 25 minutes, he's got the ceiling to get 30-ish, 35, even 40, depending on how well he's playing during that period, because he's typically not out there with all the starters. And so, and they're soaking up shots and rebounds. I think this Evan Mobley deal is a fairly big deal for this slate, even though we've got a low total, because Toronto is going to play their guys and Cleveland's going to play their guys. Low total, I still like this game a ton. How are you feeling about Toronto, Cleveland?
I want nothing to do with this game if Mobley and Lamar Stevens play. Right?
Correct.
So
yeah,
the Cavs they play super slow and they play great D. And the Raptors have been playing slower, so there's pace problems here. There's just not a lot of fantasy goodness there. But if you take out Mobley and Lamar Stevens, they're a much worse defensive team. And that would really open up for a guy like Pascal Siakam to get in to, because those are the guys that are going to slow him down. They're going to clog the middle, which is what he loves to attack. And Lamar Stevens is probably going to be the one guarding him and to try to, slow him down. But if both those guys are gone, then he should be, to the moon. But I don't know. We got to get the news on that. If they're all in, then this game is kind of a cross off for me.
Understood. And that's really where I'm headed. If Mobley's out, I end up liking both sides of this game because of the minutes, man. Like, we know Pascal's going to play 38 minutes in this game if it's tight. And 36, 38 minutes of Pascal with no Mobley, no Stevens, no Dylan Windler. Like, this could be insane because Jared Allen's not keeping up with Pascal Siakam. Let's just get that out of the way right now. Nothing against Jared Allen, but come on, Spicy P is going to put this man in a burrito, roll him up, and cook him real good. So I'm with you there.
You're hungry?
No, I'm not hungry. I'm not hungry. Not as of yet. But Mexican does sound good tonight. I might think about it.
What do you do? What are you eating for Christmas? What are you eating for Christmas?
Like Christmas dinner?
Yeah.
Oh, ham, macaroni, pound cake. I know I threw a dessert in with like the meal. I'm not sure what vegetable we're going to have. We'll probably have some stuffing. We're not going to do turkey. We're going to do chicken this year. So we're doing that. And then a host of other things, man. Pies, cakes, the whole ordeal. It's going down. It's going down. Yeah, man. It's going down. So let me get back on track here. If he's out, I have a ton of interest in Donovan Mitchell for what it's worth. Like, Donovan's already been scoring at a pretty good clip, and now you're going to take away a guy that, like, Mobley's not scoring like 20 points a game. He's scoring, I think he's probably averaging about 13, 14. You take that away, I don't think. Well, let me ask you this: do you think they just plug in Karis LeVert? I don't think they do that. They could.
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do.
It feels like they're going to play Isaac Okoro for what it's worth.
Yeah,
that's what I think they do.
Yeah, and Love would be the one to benefit if Mobley's out.
Yeah, so I like this game as long as Mobley's out, and I know I'm making that caveat, and I know that seems like one play, but I'm telling you that's so important because Love's upside is going to be there, and I think that's going to help increase Donovan Mitchell's upside indirectly. And guess what, folks? You know what I should have done? Man, I'm sleeping on the job here. All I had to do was literally go to our beautiful Court IQ tool that's part of our RotoGrinders Premium, and I could have seen exactly what's going on with Donovan Mitchell without Evan Mobley off the court. I'm not going to worry about it right now because we've got a couple more games that we get to pretty swiftly. Because I don't know if you know this, Curtis, I hate sitting on like bad games, like just to talk about people that I'm not going to play. Like, let's get to the good stuff, like the games we want to attack. And so I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next one. We got Bulls. We've got Knicks. 225 and a half total. And I was shocked at this one. Well, maybe not so much. Knicks favorite by 5.5. And so in terms of the injuries here, in terms of the Knicks, they've got a couple. I don't know how important they're going to be because I still think they're going to be fine. Quentin Grimes is questionable. He has been playing. And then Obi Toppin is out. He's a guy that hasn't really been playing. Just they've kind of got him stuck in like the 12-minute purgatory of bench players, Kirk Dees. That's what they're doing with Obi Toppin. Like, just free this man. Send him somewhere where he can get some real minutes. Bulls, Alex Caruso out. Javonte Green doubtful. Derrick Jones Jr. and Lonzo Ball out, of course. And so this rotation is pretty much, about the same as it's been all season. How are you feeling about this one? 225.5, fairly okay total. Knicks have been playing well recently. Bulls on the road right before Christmas. What you got?
Yeah, so the Knicks have been great. They lost. I think they won 8 in a row, and then they just lost. But the guy that's been the engine for that team and been on both ends of the floor has been Quentin Grimes. And so, he's an important factor if he plays or not. He's been a really solid defender, and he's been really good for that offense too as well. But I do have love for Julius Randle in this spot on the Knicks tonight. I think he should be able to have his way inside and rebounding. He's been rebounding very well, and
incredible, really.
And he just played them and put up just about a 50-point fantasy game in 36 minutes. And there's always extra. There's potential to play 40 minutes with Tibbs. So I like him. I like DeRozan on the other side, especially if I think Barrett's going to guard him regardless. I think Quentin Grimes probably affects Zach LaVine the most from a defense. And LaVine has been a struggle this season. He's had a knee issue for most of the year. He's been okay. He's starting to come back a little bit to life here, but and his price has been somewhat, down playable. If this was last season and we're looking at like the 70 to 76
almost
range, yeah. But he just hasn't been the same guy. He had one smash game against Sacramento, and that was it. But I think he's fine. But Jalen Brunson is going to benefit the most from Caruso being out, and he is like the guard version of Julius Randle this season for the Knicks. Like, he is just attacking. Like, he just puts his head down and just goes to the hoop like pretty much every play. And his price is reasonable. He's coming off of 2 bad games, maybe a little bit out of favor in people's heads. Is going to pick up some decent ownership tonight, but I think he's worth it in this spot with Caruso out. This is kind of a sneaky good game, I think, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think I like this one as well. I will say, though, I do have Jalen Brunson under 32.5 points, rebounds, assists. I do have that as a play tonight. And he can still hit his fantasy numbers and not hit my prop. So I'm hoping for both. And then I meant to back up, too, because I did miss a prop. And this was more of a Prize Picks thing. On Prize Picks, they had Nick Claxton at 25.5 fantasy points. Our projections had him around 29, if I'm not. And so, a lot, especially on Prize, you can find some of those discrepancies in the fantasy point projections. Man, it starts to add up for your bankroll, and you can get some good hits out of that. And I'm checking it to make sure to see where he is currently before I move on. So sorry I missed that. Meant to cover it when I was there, and it just slipped my mind. So really sorry about that. He is still sitting at 25.5 fantasy points for Nick Claxton. That's when I would go ahead and hop on. I definitely think that young man is going over 25.5 tonight. So I did want to piggyback on what you said about Zach LaVine. So we're just not seeing the upside, right, Kurt? Like, from a real basketball perspective, the guy's scoring over 20 points almost every game, but it's like 20, 22, a sprinkle of 25 here and there. But like if you look at it, it's mostly that low 20-point scoring where before we would have seen him in the upper 20s in terms of scoring and then adding on the peripherals, and that's really affected his fantasy point production. And a lot of these games, Kurt, he's still been fairly efficient. He's just not getting there.
And he hasn't been getting to the line like he used to do. He used to be a lot more of an attacking and getting to the line. And last couple of games, he's been getting some free throws, and you've seen him score a little bit better. I think the key to him is just attack, and getting to the line. But I think the knee's an issue. Someone in chat is saying that he has a mouth issue. I don't know what mouth issue is, but if you want to elaborate more.
Maybe, as we would say at RG when we put them out for dental work. Maybe he had some dental work.
I just had some dental work. I just had a bunch of dental work. Oof.
Yeah.
No good.
Yes, sir. Well, look, we're moving on to the next game. Now, this is one I think everybody's going to love. When you get your hands full of this one, it's going to be perfection. Detroit Pistons, Atlanta Hawks, 233.5 total. Oh my, pizza, come to my pizzeria. I need more of this for myself. All right, 233.5 total. Atlanta favored by 8.5. This game, folks, I think we're going to take a pause and talk about just a bit. Atlanta does have guys that have been out, but they should be coming back. We've got Clint Capella questionable. If he returns, though, Kongu's going back to the bench. Definitely going to hurt the upside of Collins. Speaking of Collins, I think we've seen, that they've kind of had him limited. Do they release him a little bit today? Do they give him a few more minutes? I don't know. But he's someone I'm not really worried about currently. Just want to plug that in since we were talking about the injuries because he's just getting back. And they seem to have him capped in the low 20s in terms of minutes. On the Detroit side, of course, Cade is out for the season. Isaiah Livers is out. That's not affecting anything anymore. We already know Cade isn't playing the rest of the season. What has happened, though, is that Jaden Ivey is starting to take off here yet again. And Hayes has been playing. Bogdan's been playing. Jalen Duren has been the darling of the DFS world, at least in certain spots. While this is a good game, Kurt. These 233.5. I think we love this game. How are we feeling about it?
We're feeling pretty good about it. We like the Hawks, because they play fast. They're pushing the pace, which is nice. They always should have been playing fast, but they weren't. And their final, DeJounte has helped that a little bit. And Trey obviously is always looking to push. They're seventh in pace. The Pistons, the great thing about them is their defense is just absolute trash. They're 29th in defensive rating. They're 28th in opponent blocks per game. I don't really know. I would like the old John Collins in this spot, but he's not going to get the minutes, and they're trying to get rid of this guy at will, like for anything. They don't like him. So Capella is going to be back if Capella plays. Now, you just can't trust him. Basically what it comes down to. But Trey, you can trust in this spot. He's going to have Killian Hayes on him, and he should just absolutely smoke him tonight. So I think this is a really good ceiling spot for Trey. He's pricey at 10-2, but certainly could pay that off. Coming off of two solid games, shot attempts are there in each of these last two games. Like when he's shooting poorly, he steps off the gas, and so you'll see the lower shot attempts with him. But he's getting back there. He's rolling. He was 7 for 14 from 3 in the last one. This is a matchup he can cook. So let's go with him. DeJounte is fine, but I do think this is a Trey spot. I would want to play Jaden Ivey, but I feel like DeJounte is going to lock him down. But DeJounte has not been the same defender. And I was always thinking, but every time I watch him, it's the same. He's not like he's not locking on guys anymore. He's like they're switching, so it's easy to
Yeah.
switch off. It's easy for them to switch off him, and he's fine with doing that. And so they're getting around him, on at least on the games that I've watched this season. But so I think that Jaden Ivey Jaden Ivey's been playing great, but it's a little bit riskier with the matchup here.
Yeah, absolutely. I still like Ivy. Let me say this on FanDuel. How much is Ivy on DK Kurt D's, by the way?
5,300.
Oh man, I think I like it.
Yeah.
The main thing for me is the minutes increase. Like we're seeing him playing in the 30s now, where before they had him like mid to upper 20s. Like you could just look at the game like when he gets 30 minutes roughly, like you see the production. When they have him in the mid to low 20s, he's just not getting the production. I think he's been in the 30s recently. I like it. And he's a guy that has had a whole lot of usage over the course of the season, especially when these guys have been out. So I'm in on this one, Kurt Dees. I really like Jaden Ivey. He's one of my favorite players in this spot.
Grimes is in. Grimes is in, by the way. So go ahead and bet those Knicks tonight.
Oh yeah. That's a good one. That's going to continue to help the Knicks keep pushing it down the road. Jalen Duren's another guy's been playing minutes. I'm not as interested in him on FanDuel tonight, where he's 5,800. Price has definitely caught back up. I think for me, it's mainly just Jaden Ivey. Bojan is 6,100 on FanDuel. I wish he was cheap. If he was cheaper, I'd be in, but I don't think he's cheap enough considering all of his fantasy production, or let me say 80% of his production is locked up in his scoring. He's got to score 25, 28, 30 points for us to really see the fantasy production, like the 40s, and that's just not his game. Like he's typically a mid to upper 20s fantasy point producer. Love Killian Hayes, love Trae Young, like DeJounte, really like Clint Capella if he's in.
I mean, when you look at the usage for Ivy over the last two games and with the minutes bump, if he continues on that, I mean, he is way under. If he continues that level of usage and those minutes, he is extremely underpriced tonight. I mean,
yeah.
So, and there is some matchup concern, like I said, with DeJounte, but I still think they can get around it, with picks and whatnot. And I think you got to go with him if you want to run back.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you 100%. Man, we're moving on to the next game. It seems like we were on pace, and I still think we are. We held on to that one. This one, though, Miami, Indiana, 223.5 total. Miami's favorite by 6.5 in this one. Indiana Pacers, in terms of injuries, I don't think it's anything too crazy. Like, I know Halliburton's questionable, but I don't really care about anybody else. So I think Halliburton's going to play. Like, he's been playing, so I'm not really worried about it. Miami seems to be injured all season long. They're worse than the Lakers, in my opinion. Like, somebody's always hurt on this team. Martin's questionable. Vincent's questionable. She got Haslam and Yurt 7. But the main guys are in. How are we feeling about this game, Kirk? He's 223.5. Not too bad of a total. And I, for what it's worth, I think Halliburton plays. How are we feeling about this one?
I just think you can't play anybody on the Heat side with everybody back in the way that they're priced.
Yeah, they're priced extremely high on FanDuel as well. It's awful. I
mean, Bam would be the one potential guy.
I don't even want to play Bam on FanDuel. He's 9,300. Like I just can't.
He's 86 on DK. I think there's potentially a little meat on the bone there, but and then we don't really know what we're going to get here with these Pacers guys. If Halliburton is out, obviously there's going to be value to be had, but I think he's going to probably play, but I don't really. Me too. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think he plays. And the reason why I'm saying that, and I know this sounds crazy, right now we're at -6.5. I think if there was any inkling he was going to be out, we'd be at -8.5, -9.5, somewhere up in that range. I think I think Halliburton plays, and as a result, I'm with you, Kirk Dees. I'm kind of not on this game, especially on FanDuel. Everybody's priced up. Like Hero's 8,200, Jimmy Butler's 10K, Bam is 9,300. Even Victor Oladipo is 5,300. Like I'm not playing anybody from the Heat, and then I'm pretty much in the same boat. Looks like Capella's in. Thank you, Andre. I'm in the same boat with Indiana. Halliburton is at 9,500. Not that he can't pay up that price. I don't mind squeezing in a few shares because he's projected to have very, but I don't want to play anybody else for the Pacers.
Yeah, we would have to, at 6,600 on DraftKings, I can always make a case for Miles Turner. He's a guy that can hit some threes. He can, pick some blocks up. He can also have very poor games. It's not a great matchup, by the way, but I think he's fine. Neymar how do you pronounce his name? I always forget.
I think it's Nembhard.
Yeah, he would be the guy if Halliburton. He would shoot up if Halliburton is out, at least from a usage standpoint. But yeah, I'm not really. We should have some interest, but the problem is that all the Heat guys are back.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like on FanDuel, man. Like I feel like they're priced up extremely. Like they've all been priced up out of anyone. Like I said, Hero's 8,200, Jimmy Butler's 10K, Bam is 9,300, and they're all back. I can't do it. All right, next game on the list, low total. Curtains or lower total than some we've heard, but I think this is a good spot for one of the upper tier players in the league. We've got the Mavericks, we've got the Rockets. 220 total. Dallas favored by 7. So I think this is a good spot for Dallas. These guys should be able to kind of, do whatever I don't want to say do whatever they want in this game. I don't want to say that, but I definitely think it's a big spot. In terms of injuries, here we go. Dorian Finney-Smith, out. Maxi Kleber, out. Kemba Walker, out. Josh Green, out. Frank Ntilikina is questionable. Don't really care as much about that one. Houston, Eric Gordon is out. Jason Tate, out. Garrett's questionable. Don't care about him. What do you think we see here from Dallas? We got a little bit of Christian Wood revenge, if you will. Luka Doncic, Tim Hardaway Jr. starting, Reggie Bullock starting. These starters, this group of starters, should be able to get it done here. How are we feeling about Dallas, Houston? I love Dallas. What say you?
Yeah, so it's tough with the pricing again on DK. I think the overall game environment, great, right? Mavs are only a 7-point favorite. It's in Houston. It's 220 total, which is fine. The Rockets have just terrible on the defensive end, 28th in defensive rating. They haven't been playing as fast as they normally, did last year. They're 17th in pace, but that's just been because of injuries and stuff like that. Their pace will shoot up as we continue on. I have no doubt about that. They also are 29th in opponent blocks, 28th in opponent steals. So you want guys that can get peripherals, but this is like an obvious Luka Doncic triple-double night. The problem is he's 12-5 again too, right? So it's like
11-8 on FanDuel. 11-8.
I like that. I kind of like it.
Yeah, he's 11-8. I love it on FanDuel. Christian Wood, 7,500.
They're the number one matchup for opposing point guards. He should be able to do what he wants if this game stays close. Dinwiddie is also in play with especially with Kemba not playing. He was eating into some of that, but he's cheap, but this is all about one thing. This is Christian Wood revenge again, back in Houston. He went at it with Şengün the last time they played. He's getting big minutes now.
Yeah.
He's past Dwight Powell, which we all knew was coming.
Come on. What
like
were
it
they
should have
doing?
been should have been day one,
Yeah.
But yeah, so I love Christian Wood tonight.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Christian Wood, one of my favorite plays on FanDuel at 7,500. Luka Doncic, one of my favorite plays on FanDuel at 11,800. On the Houston side, I feel like I should like more players. But here's the crazy thing about it. This matchup benefits Dallas more than it benefits Houston. Dallas is getting a slight pace up, and they should be able to crush here. But because Dallas plays a little bit slower and they play fairly good defense, this should affect the Rockets in a negative way. So I like Dallas. Don't like the guys from Houston as much. Now, Kevin Porter Jr. is 7,900. Jalen Green is 7K. That's why I kind of don't like the prices. And then, so they said that looks like Mobley and Stevens are in. So I can't play anybody in that Cleveland game. I can't. Except Kevin Love. How much is Kevin Love on DK? Is he still in that 3K range or has he passed 4K by chance? Sorry about that, Kurt Dees.
Sorry, what do you got, Kevin Love?
Yeah, how much is he on DK?
Why do we want him with these guys in? I think he's 4,200 actually.
Okay, yeah, so I'm out. So what I'm saying is Kevin Love, he's just a guy I was playing on DK when he was sub 4K because he's playing 20 to 20. That's all. That's really all that was. Sub 4K guy that can get you some minutes. But at any rate, moving on to the next game, this one.
We got to talk about KJ. I mean, KJ Martin is going to be a chalk value play tonight because he's in the starting lineup. He's going to be in the starting lineup with Eric Gordon out.
Yeah.
And
I'm not thrilled about it.
Yeah, I know. I mean, because it's who he's playing with, but like he's a good rebounder, potentially some blocks and stuff, some dunks he'll pick up. But yeah, I hear you. I mean, it's better for him too to get to the paint with the way that they're playing with Kleber out and with Christian Wood is soft, kind of a defender. But I think he's fine, but he's going to be massive chalk.
Yeah, this is one where I might on FanDuel. We've got him projected for 45%. As crazy as this, and I don't want to say as crazy as this sounds, but if you guys know kind of how I play tournaments, like he's a wing player, he's not a center. Like I'm probably hitting the X button on KJ Martin on FanDuel for what it's worth, just because of the spot. Like if they were playing, the Pacers, okay. Like we're in a totally different discussion here, but they're playing Dallas. He's going to soak up 45% of the ownership, Kirk Dees. I'm willing to take the risk to fade him. If he goes off for 30, I wipe my hands. I say, hey, maybe I win. If he goes off for 22, it doesn't matter. He's not helping or hurting me. You know what I mean?
We should also point out, though, that Dorian Finney-Smith, I mean, this Dallas team is a much worse defensive team right now without their best defender, Dorian Finney-Smith, without Kleber. So, I mean, this game could get a little crazy.
Reggie Bullock's going to play some D, but I mean, but I know missing like rotational defensive play. Like Dorian Finney-Smith is on this team to play defense and hit a couple threes in the corner when he's open. So I get it for sure. Next game up, Kirk Dees. This might be the most tricky game on the slate because of the news. I wish we had it right now. We don't have it currently. Pelicans, Thunder. 230.5 total with plenty of injury news to go around, especially on the Pelican side. So I'm sure most of you have been following this all. Zion out. Brandon Ingram has been out. Larry Nance questionable with an Achilles. CJ McCollum questionable with a calf. And if they're out, we got tons of value. On the other side of this game with Oklahoma City, they've had some guys that have been out as well. Kirk Dees feels like half their team has been out not most of the season, but randomly throughout the past couple of weeks. But JRE is out, Jeremiah Robinson Earl, and then Ousmane Dieng is out. But those aren't that impactful. What we're concerned about here are the New Orleans Pelicans. And I guess maybe Kirk Dees, we play it like this: if CJ is in, how do you want to play this? If CJ is out, how do you want to play this game?
Well, if CJ's out, you're just gonna have to play a bunch in this game, right? Like it's just this usage is out, and all these other guys are cheap. So Alvarado will shoot up to he's a good play already. He'll shoot up to like a crazy good play. I mean, CJ is the guy you want because he's the one who's you want who can pick up the scoring, who can get buckets, who can create their own shot. It's CJ. right? Like, and then the only
And
problem
JV.
is so he's but I mean, he's not creating his. I mean, he's going to be down in the block. He's going to get his regardless. CJ is going to be the one creating for him. I mean, the other guys will create for him, like Alvarado. I mean, it's not hard to feed it into J-Val and let him go to work against this soft interior OKCD. I mean, J-Val is going to be a great play tonight, regardless of whether CJ is in or not. He's just too cheap. It's just, and Zion's out. They just don't have much. These other guys, I think Herb Jones, Herb Jones does have offensive game, believe it or not. Like, it's in him. Like, he can hit threes. He can take guys to the basket and dunk with some of the best of them. He's good. He just doesn't show it enough. But like, this is a situation where he'll have to pick up more. But he's gonna be trying to lock down Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who hasn't had much success with against in the past. Shai hasn't been bothering him. I'll pull up Shai's recent games against New Orleans, and I'm pretty sure he's done pretty well in all of them. 40, so he went for 31 real points in the last time they met, and then last year he had no problem against them. But I mean, I would down tick him a little because it's a tough defensive matchup, but I still think he's going to be fine. But regardless, it's all about you're going to jam all. If CJ's out, you're going to jam all these Pelicans guys, and then it's going to be play whoever you want.
Yeah, absolutely. On FanDuel, CJ's 8,800, JV 6,600. I think we're getting really good value on JV, especially if Nance is out. We saw Willie Hernan-Gomez, I think, get a few minutes last night, 22 minutes. And they were kind of winning that game handily a little bit. The bench came in. I mean, the Spurs kept fighting. Willie Hernan-Gomez, 22 minutes, 33 fantasy points. So that was he could be an interesting play yet again. But once again, I think the main beneficiary, JV and CJ. If CJ is out, I'm with you, man. Alvarado, Murphy, Jones, Najee Marshall. These guys are going to be
Dyson Daniels. It's like it's going to be, and because like Nance is. I don't think Nance is going to play. Is Nance out yet, or is it no? He's questionable.
Yeah,
I just don't see why he'll come back. But that's a big. I mean, it's just going to be jam all these guys.
Well, here's the thing. OKC's favored by 3 already. One of these guys has got to be out. I'm going to side with Larry Nance first, considering OKC's favored by 3.
Yeah. I mean, CJ's played huge minute. I mean, it would make sense to give CJ a rest too. I mean, he's played big minutes though over the last 4 games, 42, 36, 41, 37.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad he played big minutes because he certainly helped my prop game for sure. Like, I've been just taking the over on points, and he has been crushing.
But it's going to be if he's out, it's going to be going to lineup HQ, and it's going to be spitting Pelicans. Just play them all, and get your studs in.
Okay, so let's answer this because I'm sure we'll get this question before we take questions. So, folks, we're getting this question out of the way right now, and that way, when it comes up later, we don't have to answer it. Okay, so I'm not being insensitive, I promise. How many Pelicans are too many Pelicans? If McCollum is out, what's kind of your threshold? Is it 3? Is it 4?
I mean, it depends on pricing, but all these guys are priced so cheap. So I think 4. I think you can do 4 for sure. Okay. It's just like you're going to get big games out. These guys are just going to get fantasy points. They're just going to have to. Yeah. If CJ's out, if CJ's in, it's a much different story. You're going to have to pick a couple.
Yeah. If he's in, it's probably CJ. So on FanDuel, CJ's 88, JV 66. It's CJ, it's JV, and then I think
pick up another 1 or 2 at most. Yeah. Probably.
I would say 1 at most on FanDuel. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And that's either Najee at 46, Herb at 51, Trey Murphy at 52, Alvarado at 4,700, most likely. One of those guys you added in. All right, next game, Portland, Denver. Another hefty here. Just be competitive, at least on paper. 232.5 total. Denver favorite by 4.5. We got Jokic in this game. Jamal Murray's in this game. Dame is in this game. Nurkic is in this game as long as these guys play. A lot of them have been questionable because they've been out or had some injuries. On the Portland side, Justice Winslow's out. Nasir Little's out. Gary Payton II is out. So we're good there. All systems go for Portland with their main players. Denver, Jamal Murray is questionable. And I think Jamal sat the last game. Michael Porter Jr. is probable. So he's coming back. And now Gary Trent will play. He was ruled out earlier. That's interesting. Still doesn't change too much for me on that game. So, yeah, Denver pretty much back at full strength. I think if Jamal Murray's out, it doesn't hurt them too much. They've got some ballers out there that can play. Jokic will still be in the building. Aaron Gordon's been playing well this season. Does Michael Porter Jr. coming back hurt his production? Maybe. And then if I think we get the Bruce Brown start, I don't think we see Bones Highland starting. How do you feel about this one, Kirk Dees? Jamal Murray questionable. Outside of that, looks like everybody is rolling.
Yeah, so I'm not. I think he's going to play, but if he's out, I mean, basically, it's just going to mean more facilitating for Jokic, right? Like Jokic is just going to be. He does everything anyway. Jokic is always a phenomenal play, especially when he's lower owned. Did have a nice game against the Blazers the last time they played. 34 minutes, 40% usage, which is just insane. 33 points. There's not, you play Jokic whenever you can, but the play here is Dame on the other side. I mean, he lit this team up the last time. He loves this matchup. He's come down a little bit in price. He's coming off of a couple of poor performances, underwhelming performances in his last game, but this is the spot to play him. You know, he's questioned. I think he's probable, and it's a left wrist. I wouldn't worry about left wrist. It's right wrist. That would be something to worry about, but he should be fine. So I love Dame. I mean, it's easy to sit here and say, oh, I like Dame and I like Jokic, right? Like the two star players, but that's how I really would play this game tonight. There's too much value all around. I'm looking for studs.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you 100%. Dame, 9,200 on FanDuel. Love the price there. Definitely think that's the spot where you get him in. Jokic at 12-2. And then you look on these stuff. Now, here's what I will say. Dame is around 6%. We've got him projected for 6%. Jokic, we've got projected for around 7%. But that's nothing on this slate. Really big slate. I like both of those calls. I don't think we have to sell you on either. If Jamal Murray is out, how do you feel about Bruce Brown and Bones Highland?
I like them both. They'll both pick up handling and scoring. You gotta like them. But I do think that Jokic it'll just be even more of the offense completely running through Jokic.
Absolutely. Kirk Dees, I mean, we are right on schedule. Look at that. It's amazing what happens when Dean is sick. Hopefully Dean's doing well. I'm not going to Dean. Dean's a great host. Praying for you, buddy. Here we go. Washington Wizards, Sacramento Kings. 239 total. Definitely the almost Kirk Dees, the highest total on the slate. We're saving the best for last. I think you guys already know what game is coming. Sacramento, though, a 9-point favorite. Some people are saying this might be the best team in California right now. We will find out soon enough. It's definitely the Clippers, though, for right now. It's not the Sacramento Kings. They're not the best team in California. But they're definitely second currently. Definitely second. In terms of the Wizards, Porzingis has been out a fair amount, so we've got to figure out if he's going to play tonight. Still questionable. Denny's questionable. Denny sat last game. DeLon Wright is probable. And on the other side here, Sacramento, Rashawn Holmes questionable, but he's not moving the needle. This is Sabonis's he's the big man of this team. So Rashawn Holmes isn't impacting anything, whether he's in or not. Kirk D, big total in this game. I think we've got some pieces that we can play. I do want the Porzingis news. I do want the Denny Avdia news, because that would catapult, once again, the Kuzmas of the world, the Bradley Beals of the world. That would catapult them into big-time consideration, possibly even a Rui Hachimura. and others. So how are we feeling about this game on both sides? I think this is a good game to target. Sacramento's priced up on FanDuel, but how are we feeling?
Yeah, so I think if Porzingis is out, like fire up the Saboner tonight. Friday night, let the Saboner out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Chief, this is going to be a massive rebounding spot for him. The guy's been playing I don't think he's a great player in general. I think he's a good DFS player. I don't think he's a good player, but he's on a roll right now. And I mean, if you just look at his box score, I've watched his games. I mean, he's rebounding hard. He's going to the rim hard. He's doing a little bit of everything. He's had some good matchups, but he's coming off of a massive game against Charlotte. But it's Gafford is so if Porzingis is out, Gafford will be the one in there, and he is so weak on the defensive end that Sabonis will just smash. So I would pay attention to that news. I do like the spot anyway for him, even if it is Porzingis. But he would shoot up if he's out. Beal will shoot up if Porzingis is out. I also like Beal anyway. I think Beal is a great low-owned tournament play. The games are coming with him. He's been a little bit disappointing this season. He hasn't shown like the massive ceiling that he has in years past, but the usage is elite still. He was aggressive in the last game against Utah. He had 37% usage. He took 20 shots in each of his last two games. He took 24 shots against Charlotte. If Porzingis is out, I mean, this guy's going to be firing. So keep an eye on the news for this game. And those are the key guys that I like. Maybe you can always play some Kuzma if Porzingis is out in general. It's a good matchup for De'Aaron Fox. So you can play kind of any of these guys, but like this game could really be worth waiting for if we get the right news.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really not sure on this one in terms of, because usually I try to get a read on it. Sacramento -9 feels like they're expecting Porzingis to be out. That's my read on it. I gotta think it was in Sacramento will not be -9. So those are my thoughts. If he's in though, I definitely think we see this line shift a little bit, and I think you would agree, Kirk Dees.
Yep.
Absolutely. All right, here we go. Memphis Suns, 226.5 total. Ja Morant facing off with the Devin Booker-less Phoenix Suns. Ayton is back, of course, been back for a couple games. Point guard Chris Paul has been back for several games as well. And then Desmond Bane is getting close. And I'm going to check and see, how close he is. But I think he could play tonight. He's questionable, but I know he's getting close. Danny Green's still out, of course. And then Phoenix, the big one. Devin Booker's out. Cam Payne is out. And then they got a lot of questionable guys, and then Jay Crowder he's been out, so it doesn't matter. But at any rate, how this one? I'm not thrilled about it, so I don't know how you feel, because our last game is one we really want to talk about.
Yeah, I would want. I mean, this game is okay. But, and obviously, like, Ja is ridiculous. But, Bane is back here. And also, like, on the other side, with Booker out, we have CP3. But, like, Dylan Brooks is a pretty good defender. At least he makes it really annoying. It's probably a bad matchup for Ayton. So it's like it feels like this game is like a bunch of bad matchups in it.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I can't look at this game and want to play it when I can look at the potential of the Washington-Sacramento game or the Charlotte-Lakers game.
Ding, 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 ding. And I think Kirky's right on schedule, man. We're going to close this thing out with a bang. Forget that game. Folks, if you're playing someone from that game, that's on you. We're not doing it personally. Here we go. Hornets, Lakers, 242 total. Lakers favored by 3. My beloved Charlotte Hornets have had some guys that have been questionable, that have had some injuries. We want to see, are they going to play? Terry Rozier, questionable. Dennis Smith, questionable. Cody Martin, out. And then, of course, the Lakers, we know that AD is out indefinitely. JTA has been. Austin Reeves, questionable. This is a big game. I'm going to tell everybody, get your Thomas Bryant shares in The Hornets are terrible inside, and then we'll move it forward from there. Kirk Dees, as a matter of fact, I just see our beloved producer us right on cue. This is the game, Kurt. Going out with a bang. Yes. Yes, sir. Raise the roof, people.
Let's go.
Let's go.
This game.
This is the game.
This game is going to be bananas if it stays close. And these teams are both so bad that they should stay close, right? It's gonna. Yeah. Lakers are only 3-point favorites. It's 242 total. These teams are horrendous on the defensive end. Charlotte, we know, 27 in defensive rating. Lakers are 18th, but the Lakers without AD is a different Laker team. They're getting Russ back. That's good for Charlotte for the defensive end. There's just so much fantasy goodness here in this game that they both don't defend the 3-point line well. They both play really fast. The Lakers play second in pace. Charlotte 11th in pace. Charlotte's 30th in opponent blocks per game. Lakers 22nd in opponent blocks per game. Lakers 25th in opponent steals. This is like LaMelo. This is such a LaMelo game. I want LaMelo everywhere tonight in this game, especially if Rozier is out. Even if Rozier's in, I want LaMelo anyway. I don't really care. I just want LaMelo. Thomas Bryant is a great play. Centers against the Hornets are always in play. I mean, it's a top. The best match we can possibly get for the Lakers. The Hornets are the worst in DVP versus center position, but the Lakers are also the 4th worst. So it's also a good matchup inside for any of these Charlotte guys. Maybe PJ Washington could be that guy. Because I just can't see Plumlee. I mean, if you're ever going to play Plumlee, this would be the spot to do it. He's cheap. That could work out at a low kind of at low ownership, but I feel like PJ Washington could just go off in this spot, and no one he won't get it. No one will play him.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we're going to see a lot of PJ.
I'll tell you who I'm not playing is Gordon Hayward.
No, yeah, I don't want to play Gordon Hayward. Can we please trade Gordon Hayward, please?
He's so good at just sitting in the corner and standing there and just watching basketball. Really good at that.
And getting paid big money to do it too.
33 million, I think it is. 33 million.
Oh God, yeah.
And we're here grinding, We're grinding DraftKings and Prize Picks. You know what I mean, Chief?
Exactly. Here's what I will tell you though, and I've watched the Hornets obviously since I'm a fan. God, every year, Kirk Dees, like, if you're gonna play anybody today, like, play LeBron. No doubt. It's incredible how much LeBron and really big name or the star power small forwards, they just get off on us. Like when Melo was in his heyday, he would get off on us. Kevin Durant, Kawhi, LeBron, like these big time guys, they just get off on us, man. And nothing's changed. LeBron's going to get off tonight in this bad game. So I'm in. Like, love LeBron. LeBron is one of my favorite. He's one of my favorite plays of the night. He's at 18%. I hate that he's so high on this slate, but I can't stop anybody from playing LeBron James.
Yeah, I mean, the only downtick, and it's not even a downtick, I think it will make them play better, is Russell Westbrook coming back for this game. Because it take a little bit off of his hands and could potentially get him some better looks in this game. But I mean, LeBron should be able to just go crazy in this spot against Charlotte. And they need any win they can get. It's before the holiday. People are watching this game. LeBron is like a cash game must tonight, but there's nothing bad to say about him for GPPs either. But it was a good question we got. Stephen Smith here saying, which is Yappy Cappy.
The mayor.
The mayor of Discord. That's right, RG Discord, NBA. If we should be playing Dame, Joker, or LeBron, LaMelo. I mean, I like them both, but like obvious the ownership is going to be low. Much lower on the Dame Joker side, and you can make that work with CJ. If CJ's out, that's what you're going to need to get all these low price guys. But I think that sounds so nice, and with an ownership discount, like that sounds like the way to go.
Yeah, and the salary distribution is probably pretty close. I know that crunch time is knocking on the door. It's 6:23, and I think we got most in the building. Steve is going to start plugging them in. We got Agents of Fandom. TJ Zwarych is in the building from our neighbors up north. We've got Andy Means with his personally retired number 53 jersey sitting on the back wall. And then we've got Andre Alford. Andre, are you still in New York, by the way? Or have you
Unfortunately, I am.
Unfortunately, due to the cold weather. Listen, not to talk about anyone else, but I think we're
quick
all
question.
Is
he a Jets fan?
Oh, hell no.
Giants?
Saints,
that
baby.
That was a heavy no, by the way. Unfiltered as well. A heavy unfiltered
New Orleans all day, every day.
All right.
Well, look.
That's why Dre and I are such good friends.
I'm so glad to see the Crunch Time crew. Once again, folks, shout out to Andy Means and the content team and FanDuel. Crunch Time is this year usually has free. So you get to stay on this stream and get all of your questions answered personally by the man that does all of the core content for NBA, the man, the myth, the legend, Andy Means. You're going to get personalized service from TJ and Andre on tournaments. Somebody's hosting, somebody's talking about cash, which is Brother Means, and somebody's talking about tournaments. I'm Chief. That is Kurt Dees. We're hopping off the stream, and we're going to let Crunch Time do their thing.
Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to
you fellas. Happy holidays, man.
Merry Christmas to you guys.
See you guys later.
Merry
Hopefully
Christmas
at the
and
RG
happy.
party.
Yes, fingers crossed. Merry Christmas, happy holidays to the guys just on the stream and to all of you listening today. I'm filling in for Kevin Roth, doing my best Roth impression tonight. And so, we got a lot of weather all across the country. I don't think it's going to impact any of the basketball games tonight because they are all indoors. And so not going to waste any time. We got 14 games. FanDuel sponsored Crunch Time. You can sign up for the FanDuel Sportsbook if you're in a legal sports betting state and take advantage of their awesome bonus offer exclusive to this week only. Bet $5, get $125 in free bonus bets. Terms and conditions apply. I'm joined, like Chief set us up for, by the Cash Game legend, always taking us through this one. And rumor has it, if we get up to 100 likes, the guy giving you a free personal 3-point shooting lesson. Andy Means, how you doing?
That's the only thing I can do these days, man. I'm good, man. This was a overwhelming slate, kind of a quiet one up till now. Obviously some news trickling in here and there throughout the day. A bunch of these minor Q tags have been getting sorted out, but we still got a lot of stuff left to happen tonight, and we'll see what we get while we're on the show. We're going to help out everyone as much as we can. But yeah, I'm good. It's Friday before Christmas Eve, Friday before Christmas, Friday before a bunch of football, Friday before I got to travel everywhere. It's cold as balls. But other than that, I'm good. What about you, man?
Doing pretty well. Very cold here as well. A nice crisp -20. But thankfully, I don't got to go outside too often, although I am going bowling tonight. That's why I'm only playing one team instead of running lots of them. My team is late stacked, so I don't have to worry about anything right now. We'll see if that's a similar strategy in tournaments tonight. The guy handling tournaments for us, Andre Alford, Jersey 26. How you doing?
I am doing pretty good. Just like Andy, I am cold. I can't say the word I want to use on air, but I am that cold. And it's just going around the whole country. I hate this weather. I need to go out west, but good to be here and it's good to be talking about basketball and hopefully give some people some winners to come into second place behind me in these tournaments.
Let's do it. Let's start hopping into it. Andy, we're still waiting on some news. Halliburton's questionable. Rozier's questionable. McCollum questionable. Porzingis questionable. How are you handling this for cash games? I guess I got to pull the screen share up here. That's something I forgot about with hosting. I can pull that up here. Is that you?
You can take it.
I'll take it.
Let's see.
Talk to me about
go
our
ahead.
core plays.
Yeah, so for the new stuff, the Pelicans one I think is the biggest one, and that game starts an hour after the slate locks. Nance is questionable, which matters a lot for Joe Val and Willie Hernangomez, as we saw last night. They split the center minutes. I think it was like 26-22. Willie's still 3K on DraftKings, and then McCollum is really key too. He was added to the injury report today, so be curious to see if he suits up or not. What did he go for, like 70 or whatever last night? So that's obviously important considering Brandon Ingram and Zion are out. So that's the main one. And then Hallie, that game is that game's later too. So a lot of the decision, that game's same slot at 8 p.m. Eastern. So a lot of the decisions we're going to make, if they're close tiebreakers or anything, we're probably going to decide to wait because there's not a ton to like in these first games anyways, which is fine. Just keep that in mind as we're going through. So I'll try to touch on some of these situations the best I can as I'm going through positions. If there's stuff I like, it's just difficult to get through everything, especially with freaking 14 games. So for the most part, I'll be talking about what I know I like, and then we'll try to work through this other stuff as we go along. So point guard on FanDuel, just guard. Mostly point guard, but guard in general, probably my favorite position on the whole slate. Chris Paul I have tagged at 7-9. I like Jalen Brunson at 7-5. I like LaMelo Ball at 8-9. Those are like three of the best plays on the slate, in my opinion. In general, I'm sorry, I didn't even say McCollum. He's obviously in there too. But in general, it's like shocking how efficiently priced this slate is still. Maybe news will shake that up, but like there's like barely any bright green in lineup HQ in our RG value column. So efficiently priced players on this one. So those four are my favorite plays in the slate. Three of them are only point guard eligible, I believe. No, I'm sorry. Brunson has shooting guard eligibility also. So that works well if you want to use him and McCollum at the shooting guard slot, which I'll go over to now. Going to be some Pelicans here. I mentioned McCollum, and then you have Herb Jones at 5-1. Those are the two of the top options at this position, in my opinion. And then everything after that, I think, is kind of secondary. Dinwiddie, he's 6'5", he's okay. There's like a couple AK guys that are okay, DeJounte Murray and Jaylen Brown, but you're not spending on those guys over the guys I just mentioned at guard. So maybe something else pops up. In general, I'd just be like putting in McCollum and putting in Herb Jones here, maybe Jalen Brunson here, and then seeing what happens when the news starts really breaking later. Small forward, I think we're looking at Pelicans again, and then KJ Martin, assuming he's going to start for Eric Gordon. Been a pretty decent per minute guy in his career, like usually in the 0.85, 0.9 area per minute. Probably not going to be quite that when he's out there with the starters so much, but he's only 4.2. Like him on FanDuel, like him more on DK. This is one of those things where someone better than him probably opens up later in the night, so we'll see what kind of priority he is. That game also starts at 8 p.m. Eastern if you need to move him around. But you're looking at him, you're looking at Herb Jones, you're looking at Najee Marshall, looking at Trey Murphy, another Pelican at 5'2", Patrick Williams at 4'5". LeBron is fine. He's not in the as I know. I heard Kurt D's mention in the show before, not in as good of a spot as he's been the past two games, just strictly because Russ is back, and he's been a better play on DK anyway, just because of the price tag. But I would prefer to spend up at the point guard, those guard guys, as opposed to an 11K Bron. Let's go to power forward real quick. KJ Martin's there. Williams there. Miles Turner, 7K is a decent spend up. LeBron's there. But yeah, you're probably looking at KJ Martin and then hoping something better opens up because I would prefer not to play Patrick Williams. Let's see. Let's go to center. Joe Val. Let's see. Thomas Bryant, Clint Capella. Those guys are all in like the 6K range. I already mentioned Turner. You got DeAndre Ayton. Yeah. So mostly I'm probably looking at that 6K range. That's all I got.
Dre is freaking out over there, so I just got to throw it to him because the whole chat is wondering what's going on.
I didn't even read the chat. I don't need something happened and my fiance just told me about that. We've been going back and forth on a while, and the verdict came out a way that I really didn't expect it to. So
Everybody was thinking like somebody got ruled out. What's going on? We got Javonte Green out, Goran Dragic listed in. CJ McCollum and Larry Nance are still game time decisions. Kyle Anderson has been ruled out of this one. Before I throw it to Dre for tournaments, Meansy, if we happen to get Halliburton out, how are you going to prioritize McConnell and Nemhard? And then if we happen to get McCollum out, where will Alvarado and maybe even Dyson fall on your priority list?
Alvarado would probably be up there for me. If McCollum's out, he would probably top the list. Let's see, Nemhard's 4-2. He's 4-2 on DK and 4-9 on Fanduel, assuming he gets to start, which he's already starting usually anyway, so I would just assume they slide someone else in, maybe like Duarte if Hallie's out. So, yeah, Nemhard would be up there. McConnell's cheaper than Nemhard, but I think Alvarado, it would probably be Alvarado and Nemhard topping the list.
I think that makes sense. If none of these breaks fall our way, somebody that I'm looking to in tournaments that kind of may fit that spot as well is Kobe White. Dre, who are you looking at in tournaments today? Are you spending up with LeBron? Are you trying to get something a little bit different, or are you going with the chalk at the salary saving positions today? Or are you going to pivot there?
Okay, we're on FanDuel right now. So FanDuel, it's kind of tough because I really I like the chalk. I mean the people at the bottom that are salary savers. I'm really trying to wait to see what the New Orleans Pelicans news is going to be because I think that's important, very important in the slate. Like to me, personally, I'm not playing no one from these first two games. Maybe that might be a mistake to not get a guy like either Kawhi, Joel Embiid, or Vassell or Banchero in this game, but I'm not playing those guys at all. I really like the slate. To me, it really starts from Chicago, New York, and forward. So, I love doing like mini game stacks tonight in a way. Like running like 2-1s, sometimes 2-2s in like really high total games or games that I really love it. The spot a lot. But like New York is one of the games. Both New York team games I like today a lot. And I love running it back with the guys on the other side. So. I'll start with the guard spot for the Knicks. I love Brunson. I think Brunson's a fantastic play in tournaments today. And obviously with these guys, you want to run back with someone on the other side. So I don't mind running back with Ayo Dosunmu or Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan from the guard spot. I also don't mind RJ Barrett since he's a guard/forward as well on the opposites for the Knicks side as well. As well, like I said, mentioned Zach LaVine and the other guys from the Bulls. In the front court for that team, Julius Randle, I think, has been playing out of his mind lately. I think that kind of continues, so I would try to roster him as well. And like I said, run that back with some of the Bulls guys and Vucevic and Patrick Williams as a little bit of a salary saver, though he will be popular. So I don't know how much I want to have. I probably want to get under the field on him because I want to try to get guys like Herb Jones more or Najee Marshall into these forward spots. So that's what I'm going to be looking at a lot of today. I think Murphy from the New Orleans Pelicans is also a fantastic play regardless today. It's going to OKC. I think he's going to be needed regardless of score. So I think he's someone we should definitely try to get some ownership in today for sure. I also really do like playing some of these this Brooklyn Nets game. I think is going well overlooked. Like we know who the points are coming from on this team. Giannis, maybe Porter's off the bench. Brook Lopez with a little bit here and there, but I don't like those guys. But the main guys is just Giannis, Jrue Holiday for me. Those guys are going to be doing all the scoring, rebounding, and assisting on that team majority of the time. Giannis, I know, is 12K, but he's going to put up a monster game here. They play each other really well and really hard. So I like getting to Giannis a lot today. and running it back with a Kevin Durant or with the Kyrie Irving on the other side, or even Ben Simmons today. I think that this could be a game that can go well over or be really also high and tight and close to the end. So, and Kevin Durant is going crazy every single time. Ever since that playoff game that they played each other in, I rose up with scores and outs. I took the points, rebounds, and assists over on pretty much all these guys in the game. I didn't do the Giannis write-up, but take his over on PRA too as well. But ever since the playoff game, they've been pretty much just going at it and going crazy and putting a lot of points and rebounds and assists in each of these games. So I like them for fantasy today a lot. I would get as much of those guys as I can in here. I also don't mind. I also do weirdly like Al Horford a lot today. In the spot against Minnesota. I think that it's a good spot for him to possibly get a nice little double here. I know he's going to be about 10% owned, maybe coming a little bit under than I'm hoping, but I think that that's a fantastic spot for him as well. I really would like Kyle Kuzma a lot more. I like him at his price of 8K regardless, but I just want Porzingis to be out one more game. Doesn't make sense for the play here because Kuzma will be an interesting mid-value guard. I love when Kirk and Will touched on the Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard's in a good spot. He has killed this team every single time. I think that's someone else we can look at today as well and go on the opposite side. Sorry, I have a lot of – it's a big slate, and there's a lot of guys that I really do like that I want to try to get to. And I'll give just one more out that I like really do like a lot on FanDuel. Well, obviously we mentioned Thomas Bryant coming in at 7% ownership. That should be higher than that. Charlotte front court. I'm running that. I would play Thomas Bryant with LeBron and run it back with LaMelo. LaMelo is also a top guard to have on the slate. Just run that 3 back and figure out the rest of your lineup also as well. And if you want to do little game stacks of certain things, those are certain ways I would go tonight.
Playing my one lineup tonight, that's exactly what I'm doing, Dre. It's Thomas Bryant, LeBron James being run back with LaMelo Ball on the other side. If you are playing a ton of lineups today, I do think that's a very good call to just get overweight on all of these super low-owned studs. Giannis, you play Giannis running back with Kyrie. You play Kevin Durant running back with Drew Holiday, Jokic and Lillard. A bunch of people that pair very nicely together, Sabonis or Fox with one of the Washington side. And then you mentioned the New York and Chicago as a very stackable game as well. Love all those calls. The one thing I want to harp on that you brought up as well, because Luch and I talked about it for so long on the FanDuel Friday show today, Trey Murphy coming in below 10% and Herbert Jones and Najee Marshall both in the 50% range. That just seems crazy to me. They're kind of all the exact same play, and they should all be relatively similarly owned. And so I think Trey Murphy as a direct pivot off of the chalkier Najee Marshall and Herbert Jones is just a phenomenal tournament play. Meansy, do you got anything else for FanDuel, or should we turn it over to DraftKings?
Let's roll DraftKings. Let's see here. I mentioned the KJ Martin tag's a little better over here. I don't honestly really don't think there's any must plays as of right now. McCollum would be, but we don't even know if he's going to play. So it's hard to even say he would be one. Martin is. I have both those two guys tagged, but I feel like something better is going to pop up over Martin as we get into the night here. So let's go through and talk about some of this stuff. Guard, feel similarly about guard as I do on FanDuel. You have McCollum, you have Jalen Brunson. Those are two of my favorites. Then the cheap Pelicans, Alvarado is already a decent play. So just build your lineup with him at point guard. He's already a decent play. He's going to look way better if McCollum's out. So I would just have him in your shell build right now. Let's see, anybody else that's priorities? Trey Murphy is kind of on the fringe. He's shooting guard, small forward, but again, already projecting as a decent play, and it's going to look even better if McCollum's out. So probably look at him. But in general, McCollum, Alvarado, start with those two and then see what opens up a little later. LeBron is looking better on DK just because it's a little cheaper and the scoring system suits him better. So I think he's fine. Then we're going to go back to Pelican stuff. Herb Jones, 4.7, Trey Murphy 4.6. Obviously, we have KJ Martin, small forward, power forward at 3.7. That's what I'd be looking at as primary stuff. Then Mikal Bridges is kind of there at 6'4". No Booker again. It's going to be a slow grind with him, but it's okay if it's a slow grind because he plays so many minutes. Didn't mention Najee Marshall at 4.4. I think he's kind of right there as well. So let's move on. The more I'm like just talking about this stuff, the more it's just apparent that it's just like a wait later in the night kind of night, just because we're still waiting on so many balls to drop. Tari Eason at power forward, 3.5. Like he's right there with KJ Martin. Like at the least, like KJ Martin, even though they're showing tight ownership between those two, everyone's been talking about or writing KJ Martin's name all day. So I guarantee you he's going to be – the gap between him and Eason is going to be much bigger than what it shows in projected ownership. So take that into account for your tournament players. I mean, cheap Pelicans again, Marshall – Herb Jones, Patrick Williams, who I'd never ever want to play. If you like getting like 4.5x your price tag, play Patrick Williams tonight. So let's go to center. Joe Val is going to be probably the key here. Again, this projection is only going up. Like if Nance is out, projection's going up. If McCollum's out, projection's going up. They're both out. Look out. And then Willie Hernan-Gomez is still 3K, and he's going to get backup center minutes. So like he's really good per minute, as you saw last night. He's going to be one of the better sources of salary relief if Nance is out as well, because he's going to get those backup center minutes theoretically. So put him in that mix. Put Mitchell Robinson in this mix at center, 5'3". Thomas Bryant at 6'1". If you have some money to spend, Gobert 7'3", Ayton 7'9", Jokic. Love Jokic, but probably not the slate for him tonight just because there's not a ton of extreme value and he's just really expensive. So, yeah, I mean, that's about it for me, man. It's kind of I thought I'd be talking about far more like obvious plays on a 14-game slate, but we're just not there yet. So,
somebody I'm interested in keeping an eye on as well is at the center position before I forget is Daniel Gafford at 4.8. If Porzingis happens to be out in this one, he's somebody that I like quite a bit at the center position. 28 more likes till we get to 100. Smash that like button, click the like button, caress the like button, whatever you like, as long as you make that little thumb change colors. If we get to 100, we get a little 3-point shooting lesson with Meansy. If we get to 150, I will fall off of my chair again. Dre, what do you like for tournaments here on DraftKings before we swap over to some QQs?
Hold on real quick. Sorry, I'm just doing some groupings. On DraftKings, it's pretty much almost the same as I was talking about because I'm going to be doing mini game stacks of everything. There's a couple studs I'm not playing tonight, like John Morant, who I think is in a fantastic spot, but I don't know how close that game's going to stay, and it's overpriced in my opinion. I'm not really on any Heat guys either. I don't think that they're good tournament plays if you want to play these Heat guys in a pay sub spot for them, but I think Tyler Hero with everyone back is not a way you should go tonight. But the guys I do like Luka a little bit. 12.5 is expensive, but I think on DraftKings you do have the value where you can pay to get him today. Especially with the scoring system and fits him where he can get a triple-double here and get the bonus. Ayo Dosunmu becomes more of a high priority for me because he's 3-4 over here, as well as Jose Alvarado. I think Jose Alvarado is fine to play regardless whether CJ McCollum is in or out. So to me, I would just try to maybe lock him in. Trey Murphy to get a little bit different, but he's getting the less ownership of like you said before, of the three between Herb Jones and Najee Marshall. And his price is pretty much right there in between both of them. So Trey Murphy is my favorite Pelican outside of Jose Alvarado and Jonas Valanciunas today. And I love that game also for a game stack and running it with Shai on the other side because I think that game can and will be close. So Shai is another good option and a good spend, I think, here. And he's not going to really get played that much. So he's someone I will look at a lot. Thomas Bryant still on this side again, 3% ownership. We not learned what just happened with Sabonis and what happened also with with Jokic against Charlotte in the bigs. I think it's, like I said, an easy double for him today as well. I don't mind taking a shot on some DeAndre Ayton here. He's going to be popular, somewhat popular. I'll be a little bit underweight on him though. I would probably so if he's coming at 18, I'd be like about 9%, personally, just because it's a good spot. It's a good spot, I think, for him against Adams, being with the usage that he's going to receive without Devin Booker, but it's still going to be something hard to get to. Kyrie Irving as suspended up as 8-7, I think is fantastic on the slate. Like I said, run that back with Giannis on the other end, or Drew Holiday coming in and also at 3% is good too. Jeremy Grant is someone I want to get to a good amount to on DK as well. He's someone I think think that's different over here than it is on FanDuel. Just because of his price point being a little bit, I think, better, and I think the scoring system suits him a little bit better on here. And yeah, other than that, that's really it. Everything else is going to be the same for me. I like Trae Young too as well. If you're going to play someone else around the 7:30 game.
I think DeJounte Murray in that same backcourt is underpriced as well. 8 more likes away from 100. Let's get us there, people. Come on. If you tuned in late, 2 biggest spots that we still need to keep our eyes on. New Orleans, we got Nance and McCollum questionable. If McCollum is out, Alvarado is just an absolute smash with Dyson Daniels and even Devontae Graham becoming interesting. If Nance is out, it solidifies Jonas Valanciunas, and it makes Willie Hernan-Gomez interesting as well. And then on the Indiana side, we're hurting for value, but it would open up some major value with TJ McConnell and Andrew Nembhard if we get Halliburton and Neesmith out on top of that. Let's hit some questions. First place I'm going is the RG Discord for our premium members. First, looking at the NBA Crunch Time channel, QQ. FanDuel Center doesn't say cash or tournament, but I'm going to throw this to Meansy. Do you like JV or Thomas Bryant?
I'm going to go JV on that one. And let's see the difference in the game. Yeah, the difference in the game is probably going to matter because that Lakers one's later. So, yeah, I'd still go JV on that one.
And I think if Larry Nance is out, it definitely solidifies that one. Next question is also about JV from Chinatown. TJ, props to your Siakam call last time you were on. Thank you so much. And why did JV flop last night? Was it because Hernan-Gomez was playing well? It was kind of a blowout throughout the entire game, and then San Antonio started narrowing it that later in the fourth, and then JV picked up his third, fourth, and fifth fouls in the fourth quarter kind of simultaneously, and then the game was out of hand before he would have got back in there. Meansy, FanDuel Cash 3v3, Hayes, Brunson, and Braun, or LaMelo, CP3, and Christian Wood.
Second one. You could have said anybody on the third one. I would have said the second one.
DK Cash, if I'm playing 5 Pelicans, LeBron, KJ Martin, and Banchero, is there any way I can lose?
Especially when all those guys get rolled out later. You're gonna have 6 Pelicans. Can we do 6 on DK? I forget. 6?
5 on DK, 4 on FanDuel.
I was being facetious anyways, maybe.
DK Cash, throwing it to Means again. Who do you like as a last piece, Bradley Beal or DeAndre Ayton?
Let me look at the timing of that stuff, because my head is saying Beal, and that one, they're both the Washington. Yeah, they're late. Definitely Beal if Zinger's out. Yeah, and then probably Ayton if none of those guys are out for Washington. That would be my go.
Same page here. FanDuel Cash, Jaylen Brown and Miles Turner, or Najee Marshall and LeBron?
I would do the first one.
Popping it over to the YouTube chat. On DraftKings, Io or Alvarado? I feel like let's kind of assume CJ McCollum is in for this question, because obviously if McCollum is out, it's Alvarado by quite a bit. So if McCollum is in a tournament, who do you like better, Dre? Io or Alvarado?
That's tough. Well, if it's DK,
It's DK.
It's DK and it's Alvarado. Alvarado for sure.
Assuming this is tournaments as well, Squirrel has got him as a expert play today. What do you think about a 4K Jeremy Sohan?
He played. That's to the Spurs, right?
Yeah.
He had a big game yesterday. I'm not going back to the spot. I'm personally.
Keldon Johnson also was out in that game.
Yeah, exactly. He's back there, so I'm not going back to that spot. That was just a ceiling game where everything was perfect for him to do that. That's not happening again tonight, in my opinion. Sorry, Squirrel. It's not.
He is still starting. The minutes should be there. However, it's like you said, there's kind of a lot of mouth to feeds with everyone healthy. DKGPP, would you rather stack Melo and Braun or Dame and Jokic in a single entry? This is assuming CJ is out. Just based on that, what do you like better?
Melo, Braun, or Dame and Jokic?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna have to say Melo, Braun. Melo, Braun,
and then
for sure.
They got 4,800 as a last piece, and they were wondering if Quentin Grimes was okay. I honestly would kind of want to say the answer is no to that one. You got Trey Murphy right there. You got Herbert Jones right there. I feel like you just definitely play one of those guys if you don't have both of them already in your lineup. Next question. Thoughts on DeLon Wright for the Wizards in a FanDuel GPP?
DeLon Wright? No. He's his first game back. I'm not playing on their first game back. I want to take the wait-and-see approach.
Yeah, he's probably going to be on some kind of limit. That is it for.
Hold on. I want to say something. I really, as a GPP play, I really love Ben Simmons today, especially on
sell the people.
Yeah, he's gonna he played 18 minutes last game because it was against the Golden State Warriors. They blew him out. He played 34 minutes the last time I think these two teams played, and had 28 fantasy points in that amount of time. He's looked a lot healthier and a lot better since then. I think he'll get up to about 25. I think even in 25 to 30 minutes at the price of 6.2, he can pay that off. I know we haven't predicted for only 26 minutes, but the point, especially on a site like FanDuel, where the blocks and steals matter more, I think he's perfect for that site. And even on DK, where he has a triple double outside, that matters a lot. And he's going to be the primary defender on Giannis today. So I love the spot for him. I would go back to that and play him. He's not going to be played at all. He's my really deep tournament low owned play of the night, and I love it, honestly.
You just sold me on Giannis.
We were talking about some of those little
treatment.
Yeah, exactly. He's got a good 4 inches on him probably. So as we were talking about kind of the mini stacks, the idea is I've been playing a lot of underdog drafts lately, and that's kind of how I've been playing it as well. Is I got my Giannis with Kyrie, my KD with Drew Holiday, my LaMelo and LeBron, and my Dame and Jokic together. QQ from the Discord, with Rob Williams out tonight, should we expect 20-ish minutes from a 3K Blake in a DK GPP? No, we shouldn't, because Al Horford is in, and the only time you can ever play Blake is on a small slate when Al Horford is out and he is starting. Heading back over to the YouTube, that was very old manish of me. Drew Holiday and Ayo Dosunmu for the win. That's not a question. Did the Spidey Bombs hit yesterday? Kicking it back to MLB season at TJ. I guess it's for me. Last piece, DK GPP, Miles Bridges or Jaren Jackson Jr. I kind of it depends how chalky the rest of my lineup is, because Jaren Jackson's probably going to be just 0% owned tonight. And so if I got some other chalky guys, I don't hate the idea hoping for a big block game, upside game from him. Dre, what do you think about that one for tournaments?
Miles Bridges or Jaren Jackson Jr.?
McCall, or Jaren Jackson Jr.
Ooh, as a last piece on DK. I'm going to say McCall only just because of the simple fact that I'd like the spot that he's in and the uses he's going to get. He has to be one of their one of their primary scorers on the wing for them. So that's my answer for that reason. I love Jaren Jackson for tournaments though, but I think Bridges is just a play today.
I think Bridges is the safer option, and I think JJJ might have a little bit bigger of a ceiling on this one. Twitter notification, do we got some news? No, we don't care about Frank Ntilikina. Next question. Would 4 Pelicans be too many for a DK GPP? I'm leaning towards a stack of Alvarado, Murphy, Joval, and Hernan Gomez. I don't really think that makes sense to play Joval and Hernan Gomez together. What do you think about having 4 Pelicans in a lineup, Dre?
I just actually changed it to I only want at most 3.
I don't hate the idea of 4 if you're also playing SGA in a lineup, but I think that would be the only way I would want to do it in a tournament. In GPP, what do we think about Horford with no Rob Williams? You like them, Dre?
Yes, I do. I like Horford a lot today. Great play.
Meansy, I got a question for a minutes projection for Victor Oladipo. Are we allowed to give that out in the YouTube chat?
Yeah, sure.
22 minutes projected for Victor Oladipo right now. Not as strong of a value with all the other players in for Miami today. Looking back at the Discord, is Westbrook okay for a DK GPP, Dre? Lightning round.
What is his price? 7.6. Yeah, he's okay. He's okay.
Make sure I like him a lot better in some type of stack with Charlotte today. Is Lonnie Walker a good play in a GPP today?
No,
not for
actually.
Me
I don't like him. Yeah, I'm not playing. I'm not playing no one from the Lakers besides maybe Dennis Schroeder, LeBron, or Westbrook.
That is lock.
What do we think of Luch's shirt right there in that little profile? His Abby right there. Do you see Luch? What's up with Luch's shirt there?
Can we pull that up?
It's from.
What's he wearing there?
It's from the World Fantasy Baseball Classic or Basketball Classic. He's out there somewhere hot. Maybe that was somewhere on a boat.
Is that a Hawaiian shirt or something?
Yeah, he's just relaxing. That's Luch's vacation shirt.
Okay. We all got our vacation shirts. You better be comfortable on vacation, right?
Yeah, gotta be.
So a couple more.
We all wish we were there right now. Let's anywhere that's warm, please.
No kidding. A few more QQs in Discord before we get out of here. DK Cash means Gobert and Ivy or Murphy and Ayton.
I would do the second one, and also lean on. I think those are decently later, so I would maybe look at later. Yeah, I'll do the second one.
Luke says I'm a head out. I feel bad too because he's here right now because I was like, man, we're on the FanDuel Friday show together. You're playing 50 lineups. You got to be tuning in on crunch time. We got a great crew in here today, and he tunes in just for us to make fun of him. Alan,
I'm pretty sure I just asked what we thought of it. I don't think I said anything either way. Yeah, I mean, it might have been underlying tones, but yeah,
that was all you, TJ.
I didn't make fun of him. I said it's his vacation shirt. He's comfy. DK Cash means LeBron and Brunson or Jokic and Bridges.
I'd easily do the first one there.
Dre, what do you think about Dinwiddie in a FanDuel GPP today?
No.
We got some starting lineups, but everything is as expected. No surprises, still no news. So we're waiting on Indiana. We're waiting on New Orleans, ready to prioritize players there as soon as we get the news. Other than that, Meansy, do you got anything else for the people before we get out of here?
Just happy holidays, everybody. Go enjoy yourselves. No NBA tomorrow. A bunch of football. Yes. So spend some time with the family. Have a great holidays, everybody. We appreciate everyone who tunes in.
Happy holidays to all. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. any other holidays you're celebrating, get some rest. And if you're playing DFS this weekend, you get to hang out with me. I'll be on NFL Crunch Time tomorrow, and then NBA Crunch Time and NFL Pre-Lock on Christmas Day. So come hang out with me and let's win some money. Dre, anything before we get out of here?
Sorry, I just answered the guy's question. Isaac Young, yes. It's KD and Giannis is a good GPP move. But no, other than that, just make your stacks, make everything right. Happy holidays and good luck to everybody.
Good luck tonight, everyone. Happy holidays on behalf of myself, Andy Means, Dre, our awesome production team, Steve behind the scenes, and everybody here, RG. Happy holidays and good luck tonight. Peace.